Straight to Dipti now for the papers. Starting off, of course, with those French strikes planned nationwide, already kicking in, aren't they, Dipti?
Yeah, that's right. Up to 900,000 people expected to protest across France today. This over general discontent and proposed cuts to public spending. All sectors are affected. This is indeed what the communist paper L'Humanité says on its front page. This protest movement really over a host of issues: the budget, pensions, salaries, jobs, but also fiscal equality. That's what it says on its front page. The Catholic paper La Croix on its front page talks about this social malaise or social unease that is here in France. The paper says in its editorial here that it's too early to tell if this Thursday will be a turning point in the social and political history of France. But it says, wasn't the French Revolution also sparked by an impasse over the budget? So there are some comparisons to be drawn there, at least for La Croix. From the right-wing papers, this is Le Figaro here on its front page, of course, talking about unions putting pressure on the French Prime Minister, Sébastien Lecornu. But in its editorial, the paper warns that France is on the brink of a breakdown right now.
Let's move on to Jimmy Kimmel, his show being suspended by ABC over comments he made about Charlie Kirk's death.
Yeah, this has really been reported quite widely in the press this Thursday morning. Politico here noting that the Jimmy Kimmel Live has been pulled off air indefinitely over his comments that he made in Monday's show. In that show, he had spoken of attempts by Republicans to capitalize on the murder of far-right influencer Charlie Kirk last week. Upon threats by the chair of the Federal Communications agency, if you like, who was nominated by Donald Trump, ABC pulled the show off air. Now, the backlash, as you can imagine, has been swift. The New York Times today looking at the reactions that it says reflect America's partisan divide as well. Conservatives, the paper says, considers the decision a, quote, overdue reckoning for a comedian they had long criticized. Donald Trump critics, on the other hand, condemn what they see as the government's efforts to curb freedom of speech and silence critical voices. In any case, it did spark a backlash, quite a few reactions quite swiftly. This is from the governor of California, Gavin Newsom, here, who says that the Republicans do not believe in free speech. They're censoring you in real time. He wrote this addressing Jimmy Kimmel. There's also been this very critical piece from the website Vox, which says, let's be clear about what actually happened to Jimmy Kimmel, calling it Donald Trump's most brazen attack on free speech yet. The website adding that the Trump administration, I quote, has learned to weaponize the regulatory powers of the federal government to punish speech it doesn't like from people it doesn't like. This is a favored weapon of, quote, modern autocrats.
Jimmy Kimmel, not the only one in the crosshairs you found as well, Dipti.
Well, yeah, that's right. You just have to look here at the Washington Post's article today, which talks about efforts to a resolution to censure the Ilhan Omar, a Democratic representative, over comments and a social media repost she made regarding Charlie Kirk. That resolution failed on Wednesday. It had been fast-tracked to the House floor for a vote, but that vote was then dismissed. However, there are other pending motions against her. That's what the Washington Post says in this article. It also notes that another piece of legislation was introduced this week by a lawmaker proposing to block federal funds to entities who employ people, quote, who condone or celebrate political violence. Now, the paper noting that this sort of aggressive rhetoric really echoes the tone of the White House as well. Importantly, though, it also symbolizes a departure from the Republican Party, which has historically championed free speech.
Now, we all know the phrase dead as a dodo could soon be, though, alive as a dodo. That's because researchers have announced they're very close to reviving the dodo bird, an ancient species native to the Mauritius Islands. How come, Dipti?
That's a question I think we want to know. You might say that's a $120 million question because the company, they're actually a startup who specialize in de-extinction. They're called Colossal Biosciences, a Dallas-based startup. who actually specialize in trying to revive extinct species. Now, they've set their sights on reviving the dodo bird, Stuart, and to that effect, they've recently raised $120 million in their latest fundraising, a round of fundraising, which I guess is a sign that maybe they're getting very close. They've successfully cultured primordial germ cells from the Nicobar pigeon, which is the closest living relative to the dodo bird. And they somehow hope to produce dodo-specific cells that could then, I guess, be implanted in these pigeons to produce fertile dodo babies in the future. And as I said, they've raised a whole bunch of money now, which signals that there is some kind of interest and promise in their research. They've previously been involved in trying to bring back the dire wolf and the woolly mammoth. But critics say it doesn't solve the problem of habitat, which is why these species went extinct in the first place. That and the fact that a lot of celebrities are backing it. Many say it's more destruction than science.
Oh, we shall see. Who knows? You might get woolly mammoths walking around all over the place one day. You never know.
Dinosaurs.
Why dinosaurs, exactly. Who knows? Who knows? Dipti, thanks a lot. Dipti with the papers on France 24.